A few seconds too late. Thank you guys so much for playing The Simpsons.
Well, guys, I just started off my final night here at the World Finals on the race day live stage with the Dirt Vision crew. It's cool doing an interview. This fan side of this event, which I guess I didn't realize how big this whole thing is. Really neat to see all the people here in Charlotte that are enjoying. There's a little bit of dirt racing they get in asphalt country, but just started today. I'm gonna head back over to the trailer. We have the pit meeting soon, and we're gonna get this final race of the 2023 World of Outlaws season started. So got in my suit. Really interesting. What's different about this event is you start racing in the middle of the day. Usually, you know, I've talked about how you race normally in the evening. The sun's kind of setting. There's all sorts of people here. There's the 1T behind me. You got the Low E insulation car, Pels Tire Service, Smith Titanium, DMI. We got so many great partners. Very thankful. Those guys also help make all this happen. Final race with Shark Racing here. It's not only the final one of the Outlaw season, final with Shark Racing, final in the 1T, the duct tape, what so many of you guys have loved here on the channel. So here soon we're going to be getting in, head out for engine heat, no hot laps, remember, and then roll right into that heat race, which will you know, set up the rest of our evening. And here's a look at the track. Speaking of that heat race, I should have told you, so our points from Thursday and Friday set us up for this show. So we're rolling off from 8th, 4th row outside with the top 5 transferring here for an 8-lap heat. And we got a pretty good one. We're actually starting, we are sharing the 4th row with Donnie. So the goal here is definitely to get a good start, try to move forward and make the most of, you know, where we're at. Hopefully with kind of all the factors, the surface starts to slicken off in a hurry. It really has more and more each day. Racing in the daytime helps, you know, the temperatures and the sun being out. And then of course also, you know, as this thing just gets more wear and tear on it throughout the weekend, the grip, it's harder for the moisture to get down deep enough into the racetrack for it to hold together and, you know, stay fast for too long. So they're out here with all the push vehicles. Like I mentioned, gonna go get in for some engine heat. We're gonna fire off, hear the beautiful sound of this 410 sprint car engine, and that will be the first activity for today.
Some people here already decided.
Donnie Schatz and Tanner Holmes in row 4, Eric Riggins, Jacob Dykstra, Jeff Dodge, Ryan Roberts, and George Hobaugh. The green flag is waving on the case number 1 engine oil heat race at the dirt track at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Gravel into turn 1, grabs the early race lead, challenged on the outside by Rico Abreu, and Abreu able to make the pass, takes command at the end of the back straightaway. Rico Abreu leading it, David Gravel running second, nearly 3 wide for third, Brian Brown, James McFadden, and Sheldon Hodenshield going at it there. Brian Brown currently third, J-Mac in the 4th spot, Sheldon Hodenshield in 5th, Donnie Schatz now challenging on the inside of the speedway, getting by the 1T of Tanner Holmes, and now Donnie Schatz 1 spot shy of a transfer position from the 7th starting spot as he tries to reel in the NOS Energy Drink 17 of Sheldon Hodenshield. 3 of 8 laps complete in the case number 1 engine oil heat race right now. Rico Abreu leading David Gravel by 1.06 seconds, then a half a straightaway back to the 3rd place car of Brian Brown. Sheldon Hodenshield now looks to the top in 3 and 4, dives down off the bank and can't get by the 83 of James McFadden. No follow the Roth Enterprises machine closely into turn 1. Slide job attempt. Oh, how close did they get there? As James McFadden forced out by the wall, and now perhaps an opportunity for the 10-time series champion as Donnie Schatz now. So contact between Sheldon Hodenshield and the 83 of James McFadden. That collects the 9 of Chase Randall, who tips over onto his side, and we go red. And David Gravel with problems in the number 2, engine problems on the number 2 of David Gravel over in turn 2. It started in turn 2, Sheldon Hodenshield and James McFadden nearly got together there, and then Sheldon all kinds of crossed up coming out of turn number 4, was able to save it after the spin, but then James McFadden with no place to go and collects Chase Randall. Into turn one they race. Big move by Jacob Dykstra, sliding up in front of Tanner Holmes for the final transfer spot. Holmes crosses back underneath him at the end of the back straightaway. Donnie Schatz looking low in 3 and 4, trying to catch up with Sheldon Hudenshield and Brian Brown as Rico Abreu pulls away from the field with 2 to go. Dykstra coming back at Holmes for the final transfer spot. Races to the cushion in turn 3. Holmes drifts up the banking as they cross under the white flag. Battle for the transfer spot into turn 1. Holmes down low to take that group away. Dykstra drifts up the banking. Checkered flag in the air. Rico Abreu will get the win. Brian Brown second, third to Sheldon Hudenshield. Donnie Schatz in 4th. And at the line, Tanner Holmes hangs on to the final transfer position.
Well, you know the saying, sometimes it's better to be lucky than good, and we just got another Christmas gift here in Charlotte, and I'll take that. Started 8th there in that heat race, once again got rolling good on the first lap or 2, and kind of fell back and felt like I was battling being too tight. All weekend I feel like we've talked about trying to gain grip and whatnot, and I've really been thinking like, man, where's maybe the problem starting? Because, you know, a problem can cause things throughout the corner that you feel, but where is it starting? I felt like there in that heat, you know, I was just too tight on entry, so I'm not making the corner speed you need to go around the track. And when I'm getting tight like that, it's slowing me down, and then it's like I'm trying to get the car turned, I think, you know, behind the wheel, and it's worse in 1 and 2 where it's thicker than 3 and 4, but long story short, got a good start, fell back a little bit, and then we had the crazy fiasco on the front stretch that involved McFadden, Hod, Randall, gravel blew up. So, I mean, instead of getting 1 Christmas gift, I got like 3 and went from 8th to 5th. So, happy to be in the feature. You know, obviously I wish we would have done it. It doesn't matter how we did it, but I want to feel a little better. But I think my laps, you know, I feel like where I'm running on the track and kind of how I ran my line was 10 times better than the rest of the weekend. I felt a little more, you know, confident once I got rolling, but definitely going to make some changes to our car because we got to get closer for this feature. But just happy that we're in it, so we can take another swing, another at bat, and you know, make adjustments to be better. We got some track prep going on right now. I think this is a good view showing you what happens when you race with the sun still out. The surface just goes away so much faster than when the sun is down and the temperatures are much cooler. And I mainly just wanted to show you all this now because in a couple hours, I'm sure they're gonna be working it again and possibly in between that, you know, for all the features just to have the best possible surface. And one other thing to mention, they did move these infield tractor tires in for our heat races, so I do gotta give them some credit. I think yesterday I kind of complained about it in the video. That was not right that they had them out today. They fixed that for our heat races. They had them out for some of the other divisions, but the sprint cars came, they moved them in, so we had the whole entire racetrack to work with. And because they had it out there, there's still just a little bit of grip on the bottom, super narrow. They worked the top. If I had to make a prediction, I would say today's gonna end up being the slickest one yet. You can just tell the laps are so much harder on the track. The sun's still out, we had to start earlier, and they still have some lower mains to go, some dashes, and then of course all 3 features for the 410s, the big blocks, and the late models. Now you can see as they roll by behind me, some water being laid down on the surface. Here soon, we'll keep watching and then check back in before it's time for us to roll out. I believe we're gonna be starting about 17th-ish, 17th or 18th, somewhere around row 8, 9-ish for tonight's day. So they just sounded the horn. We are getting ready to push out for 25 laps around the dirt track at Charlotte. They did do a rework before our feature. They kind of just touched the top and rolled the bottom in. If I have a feeling here, it's probably that the top's gonna be the way to go after a couple laps. I think you gotta be careful not to jump up there too soon and open the door, but it just looks like it's gonna be the better lane. They just showed it a little bit more love there, I guess, during the rework. But rolling off from 17th, run a good race, finish off the Outlaw season strong. guys, with that, we officially have ended this World of Outlaws season and my races in the 1T. Sad that it's over, but also at the same time I do feel like a sigh of relief and a little bit of a weight off my shoulders in the sense of like we completed all the races. You know, I thought about how nervous I was when Bobby came to me with this opportunity. Nervous and excited, like not, you know, scared, but like wanting to tackle it and do the best I could. And I knew that there was some mountains ahead of me and some obstacles I was gonna have to climb. And the fact that like we made it through and we survived the Outlaws and our stint with them, and also too, besides our one incident in North Dakota, you know, I luckily was a little, you know, I was fairly nice to their equipment. That's one thing when you get in a situation like this, like you obviously always want to take care of, you know, these guys own all this stuff. I come from a family operation. This is a family operation. Like I know how tough it is if you get in those situations, and so happy that we also didn't have, you know, too much of that. As far as tonight, obviously, you know, I'm not pumped about our results, not thrilled with it, but we did have a really tough weekend, and I'm glad we got in the show and got the chance to run 25 laps. And like I said, of course, I, you know, wanted things to go better, but I think today was improvement, you know, with the rest of the weekend, and it was really difficult for me, and this was just, honestly, looking at it all, this was probably the toughest track I ran out of all the new places I saw on the tour. So yeah, as far as this weekend, I mean, it was, you know, it's whatever, it's behind us, but glad that the car's here in one piece, and we completed, I think, you know, what we set out to do. We had some good runs, we had some good finishes, we made it here to Charlotte, and we closed out the year. The late models are about to go, then we're gonna start packing everything up. I do feel much more sad now than I kind of felt. I knew this ending was coming, and I knew it was probably gonna be this way, but yeah, it really sucks that it's all over. Well, ladies and gentlemen, World Finals is complete, and as I sit here, and actually if you look over this direction, they're doing the champion celebration over there. That's for the Outlaws, the late models, and the big block modifieds. You know, really cool to see that. And of course, like, you know, when I think of where I would want to be one day, of course parked on the front stretch would be a goal. And you know, when you see these guys that are champions and like, you know, what it takes and how they feel and their emotion and everything, like it's definitely very inspirational, like I said, on where I want to be and what direction I want to work towards. And I said it a couple times, but you know, of course our weekend was difficult. It was trying. We put our best foot forward and things just didn't pan out, but I don't want that to take away from, you know, everything else and this opportunity I got with Shark Racing to run, you know, 25-ish races on the World of Outlaw Tour with Bobby Allen, Tyler, my crew chief, Blake, Carly got to come along for the ride and just do something that I've always wanted to do, and you know, an opportunity that I didn't think would ever, you know, come across my desk, you could say. So forever grateful for what Bobby Allen did for me, and just, you know, no one will ever be able to take away what we just did. So in the end, glad we did it, glad we competed, glad we also completed the mission and got it all done. 1T's back in the trailer, and the World Finals is all wrapped up. Like I said, a little emotional, sad that it's done, but I think all good things are gonna come from this, and it's onward and upward from here. Last but not least, again, thanks to everyone at Shark Racing, Bobby Allen again, Pell's Tire Service, Smith Titanium, DMI, Lowy Insulation, and the rest of the partners that help make the team happen. It's not easy doing what Shark Racing does. They literally live in the grind, live on the road, live on the tour, and you know, I think there's so many things that happen behind the scenes and in these scenarios and situations that like nobody sees. There's just a lot of hard work, and like a lot, you know, and everyone on the team, they love it. They're diehards like me, and they put everything they got into it. So I commend Shark Racing, and as I said, thankful for the opportunity of a lifetime that I got. All right, World Finals. All right, World of Outlaw 2023 season. Peace out. I hope to be joining again in 2024. Deuces.